Hey ladies, so what do you do with your leftover pumpkins from Halloween if you don't carve them into jack-o'-lanterns? I just want to share that I like to cook mine. So today I am baking a whole pumpkin. I put a little bit of olive oil spray. I've got it on about 350. I'm going to cook it until it gets fork tender and then set it out, let it cool. I'm going to peel it. I'm going to mash up the pumpkin. And I'm going to have a bunch of fresh pumpkin ready to use for all kinds of recipes that I can put in the freezer and have it available anytime rather than using canned pumpkin. It's just so much better for you. So today what I'm going to be doing with my pumpkin is I'm going to be making a curried pumpkin soup. It's one of my fall favorites, but I'm going to increase the protein because it's just a vegetable soup, so I'm going to have a good amount of protein in this to help balance out my macros. So what I've done here is I've taken 2 turkey breast tenderloins and I've added them to the crock pot with a little bit of chicken broth. I did some salt, some pepper, and some mild curry on top. And I'm going to cook these till they get really tender and I can dice them up. Then I'm going to add them into my soup with all my other ingredients. I'm going to show that here now. So you guys can see you use onion, you use mushroom, you use some condensed milk, you use a little bit of honey, some nutmeg, some curry, some salt, some pepper. It's one of my favorites. I've been making it for many, many years. It's a really good way to incorporate natural pumpkin into your diet because pumpkin actually has a lot of vitamins and minerals and fiber, things that are really good for you. So it's just really good to include that into your diet if you can. So get out of your comfort zone, try different recipes. You never know what you're gonna like. All right, ladies, I just wanted to show you my pumpkin is done. You can see how the fork just goes right through. You can see how the peel is just gonna peel off super easily. This one's bubbled up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these cool and then I'm gonna peel them and I'm going to chop and mash up my pumpkin so that it'll be really good for my soup. Here you have my chunked pumpkin that I'm making for my soup. Just wanted to show you what it looks like. Okay, so now that my pumpkin is ready, I am starting the process of making my soup. So I'm going to turn my soup into more of a stew so it's a little bit heartier, more filling. So what I've done here is I've got, I don't remember how many ounces, but I've got like almost 5 ounces of sliced baby portobello mushrooms. I've added about 4 ounces of onion, 2 tablespoons of butter, and I've begun sauteing them to get all of the juices out, get them nice and wilty. Then what I'm going to do pretty soon is I've got 2 tablespoons of unbleached all-purpose flour that I mixed with a teaspoon and a half of curry powder. And what I'm going to do is when this is ready, I'm going to add this to the mushroom, butter, and onion mixture, and I'm going to make like a roux. And once that cooks for just a little bit, I'm going to slowly begin adding in my less sodium chicken broth. Okay, so here I have added the flour and the curry mixture in here, and I'm letting it cook just for a couple of minutes to get the flour to not taste like flour. Just enough so you can really start to smell the seasoning of the curry. And then I'm going to slowly start adding in my chicken broth. A little bit at a time, because this is going to help the broth to thicken.
Mama, my apple.
Beautiful. That's a good job. So you can see the broth is starting to thicken now, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more broth. The recipe calls for about 3 cups. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more than that since I'm going to add more pumpkin and a lot of turkey to the recipe. So this will be 4 cups of broth. Okay, so it's been cooking for just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add my fresh pumpkin. This is a pumpkin that I just cooked in the oven and diced up. I like it diced. I don't like it pureed in this, but the recipe does call for canned pumpkin, which is pureed. So if you would like more of a soup and less of a stew, you can try it that way. but I really prefer the chunk. Okay, so here is my turkey. It's been cooking for a few hours now. You can see that it is done. Okay, here is my turkey after I've diced it up. I went ahead and added the broth in with the soup. Now I'm going to take the soup and add it back in here with the turkey and add the rest of my ingredients. Okay, so I added my pumpkin soup in here with the turkey. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of honey, salt, pepper, and nutmeg that I'm adding in. And I'm going to mix this around. So you're going to do 1 can of evaporated milk. Now this is where your fat's going to come into the soup. So far we just have a lot of protein and we've got some carbohydrates. Now we're going to have a good amount of fat with this recipe, but the macros should be really quite good. So I'm excited to see how those come out. It's a bit savory. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, but not much. It's absolutely delicious. So I went ahead and saved the list. Here's the ingredients and all the amounts that I used to put into my soup. If you'd like to try it yourself, give it a try and let me know what you think.